Do you have access to people's driver's license and social security information?
Yes.
I have a problem with that. She's not going to be allowed to work there unless she informs her employer and those whose licenses and social security information that she's obtaining, she informs them of this case. Otherwise, she's not going to be allowed to work there.
She moved from San Antonio to Houston, then to Michigan. New job, new life. But she was still working with people's social security numbers, still had access to their driver's licenses. And when Judge Stephanie Boyd found out she had a problem with that, Henry said she didn't know, said she was told it was a made-up profile, said it broke her when she found out it was real. Judge Boyd listened to every word. My ruling is my ruling. What happens to this woman's life next is not what she expected.
All right, while they're getting, oh, thank you.
She's on Zoom now.
All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 009601 State versus Kiara Henry. Can I have parties announced?
Attorney Albert Acevedo for Miss Henry.
Miss Henry?
Yeah. How are you?
All right. Good morning. So Miss Henry is appearing by Zoom. And we're here for sentencing, correct?
Yes, sir.
And she is located in another state,
She's in Michigan, Your Honor.
Michigan. All right. Are there any witnesses from either party? I believe we've discussed off record and at previous hearings, the requests from the state and the request from the defense.
I have no witnesses, just her, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Just briefly, we've gone over the PSI. Just clerical error. There's her address. It's Coyle, C-O.
Just 1 second.
Just briefly, I'd like to call my client, Judge.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name in the record, for the record, I'm sorry.
My name is Kiara Henry.
Yes, you may proceed.
Miss Henry, you got arrested back in August of 2023, correct?
Yes.
And since that time, this offense occurred in Bexar County. Did you move?
Yes.
And where did you move to?
I moved from Bexar County to Houston, and then I stayed there for a year, and then I moved back to Michigan, where I am now.
And when you moved to Houston, did you work?
Yes, I worked for the Houston Housing Authority for 1 year as a housing specialist.
Okay. And while you were here in Bexar County, did you briefly have a job?
Yes, I worked for the United States Postal Service.
And that didn't last very long, right?
No, because I was arrested.
Okay. And were your kids living with you at the time you lived here in San Antonio and then moved to Houston and back to Michigan?
Yes, they've been with me the whole time.
Okay, let me ask this. What is the restitution amount that's owed?
In regards, it says 0 in regards to the report, Judge. No, there's an victim impact statement, and the victim said there was $0 restitution.
All right, so where are you working now?
I work for I work for LR Management. I'm assistant property manager.
And does this involve her having access to people's identifying information? Social Security, driver's license?
It's a driver's license information at the time when she was here and passed it on to get a vehicle at Enterprise.
No. I mean her current employment now. Your current employment that you have now, do you have access to people's driver's license and social security information?
Yes.
I have a problem with that. She's not going to be allowed to work there unless she informs her employer and those whose licenses and social security information that she's obtaining, she informs them of this case. Otherwise, she's not going to be allowed to work there.
Can I say one thing, Judge?
Sure.
I did not, when I got the information, I was told that it was not an actual person. I was not aware that I was using someone's identity. And that's the God's to honest truth. I did not know that it was somebody's identity. I was told it was a profile that was made up. I never knew that it was, when I found out that it was an actual, that person was an actual person, it broke me. I never would ever touch anyone's identity.
All right, so my ruling is my ruling.
Yes, ma'am.
They'll need to know. And you're gonna explain to them, you thought somebody was making up profiles and creating cards.
Yes, ma'am.
But even if that were the case, it still was the wrong thing to do because somebody is holding the bag with no money being given to them.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 45 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, or any occupation that gives you access to others' credit card information, driver's license, or social security numbers, unless your employer is made aware of this case.
Yes, ma'am.
And you'll need to provide proof to probation that they have been made aware. So which county do you live in?
I live in Wayne County. I work in Oakland County.
All right, there's a transfer to Wayne County. And is that Michigan?
Yes.
Defendant allowed to work out of county? There's to be no restitution ordered because parties are telling me there is no restitution. No contact with Katie Boyd, and for the record, no relation to me or Enterprise at 1128 IH 35 North, San Antonio, Texas. There's to be 100 hours of community service restitution. And I'm going to order the MRT. Once that's completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Taking consideration 2025 CR 009623. Field visits is available once a month for 3 months. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else?
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else you need, Ms. Henry?
No, ma'am. Oh, I do have a question. So as far as the employment thing, my boss does know. And is this for the rest of my life or is this just while I'm in probation?
You'll have to speak to your attorney.
Okay,
Explain to you about that. All right.
okay,
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal?
yes,
All right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
yes.
All right. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. I'm going to move you to breakout room number 1. If you'll meet the probation officer in there, they'll go over conditions with you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And did you all tender me the dismissal? Has that already been done?
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just make sure you go to the breakout room. What page?
On page 16.
All right, Velasquez.
Oh, that thing for free.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Yes.
Do you have a copy of the latest supplemental report sent in?
Let me see.
If not, I can make a copy real fast.
Oh, all right, thank you.
Okay, Judge. So there was a supplemental report sent in to the court, in November. There were some concerns in regards to some positive UAs, admitted use in some failed racks on his device. All of these occurrences happened in July of 2025.
Mhm.
The court was not notified of these until November of 2025. In July of 2025, a TAP was completed, and at the time, the recommendation was for him to do SATIF. He has completed his DWI education, his victim impact panel, and provided his DNA sample. After July, he has not had any positive UAs. That's August, September, October, November, and December. And he has not presented any high BRACs on his device. He does tell me that he is attending AA 2 times a week. And I would ask that the court consider if we can do intensive outpatient treatment and continue his AA meetings. I believe with speaking with him, he understands that he cannot drink. And at that time, I think some things were just happening in his life and he did not know how to possibly handle them. But speaking with him, he's on the right track at this time. So we're asking that intensive outpatient be mandated.
All right. So here's the thing. I was informed late that you had this violation. And one of the notes that's on this supplemental report for me is that inpatient treatment would have a significant impact on your family. And I'm sure the impact would be financial because you're an inpatient, you can't provide for your family. These are things that you need to think about when you're thinking about drinking. Because when you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol, and especially with the offense that you're charged with. I always tell people you need to stay clean and sober for yourself, but if you don't want to do it for yourself, you have to do it for your family. And if you're around people who are drinking or who are encouraging you to do, because I know sometimes that happens when people will tell you, oh, just one more drink, one more this, you need to start thinking about your family if you're not thinking about yourself and your sobriety. Do you understand?
And I have declined several invitations, to family gatherings and stuff like that. Honestly, on Christmas Day, I was by myself. But New Year's Eve, I was with my in-laws, so I was, around, good folk and around surrounded by all that, substance and, like I told her, I've been doing AA meetings, twice, 3 times a week, from 8 to 9, and sometimes just spending time with my family because I don't know what's gonna happen. And I just got a brand new home December 12th, closed on it, and that got that from the family. So I feel like I'm on the right track, doing this thing of life, well now. I'm understanding everything now, just thinking like how I should be, like a 28-year-old man, who just wants to provide for his family. And the little one, we take her to speech therapies twice a week, Tuesdays at 4, Wednesdays 4:30. So it's just kind of tough, just to let that let my wife handle all that just because of my bad decisions and my choices.
Okay. All right. So this is, well, probation, you're asking for intensive outpatient. Do you think based upon what he's saying and the fact that he's doing sober support meetings, do you think we should just start with outpatient treatment and then if more is needed, do intensive, or you think we should start with intensive?
We can start with supportive, Judge.
Okay. So here's the thing. If supportive outpatient treatment is not working for you, you need to let probation know. Nobody's going to revoke you because you say you need more treatment. Probation is designed for you to realize what your triggers are so you won't come back to court anymore. Okay? Is there anything else you need from the court?
I said, no, no.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'll order supportive outpatient treatment and you to do sober support meetings at least once per week. And if you ever think you're gonna drink, pick up the phone, call probation. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna make sure that you get in touch with somebody who can help you, maybe not take that drink. When you're doing your sober support meetings, talk to people and see who will be a good sponsor for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes people years to figure out the sponsor that they mesh with very well. So you need to do that. So you'll have a support system where people you can call.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Jonathan Sanchez. Hey. Hello,
Hello, Judge.
how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I can't complain. So since you're here, there must be great things that are happening. Please.
Judge, there was a status report for consideration for early dismissal and discharge.
Okay,
At the time that the report was submitted, the state had some objections based on the facts and charges.
Mhm.
However, after speaking with Ms. Jones and reviewing everything in the case, she has no objections in early termination. Mr. Sanchez has been on probation or deferred adjudication since February 2023, and he's actually just supposed to get off next month.
Oh.
He's completed everything. We have absolutely no concerns in regards to him. And we're just asking that you consider just letting him loose.
All right, what have you learned?
So, I just want to say, thank you for your time today, Your Honor. Since on probation, actually prior to me being on probation, I was in the county jail for about a year. And during that time, I had, time to actually sober up, actually come out of, what I think back is like a psychosis from drug use. And after I got sentenced to the ISF and the probation, I had a counselor there named Mr. Pacheco.
Mhm.
And through the counseling and the group sessions, I learned about thinking errors. I learned about criminal thinking and just basically the things that I was doing wrong in life and the bad things I was presenting myself as like to the community. And I ended up graduating from the ISF and getting released on probation, and I also got placed on methadone. So I've been going to the methadone clinic. Now, when I got out on probation, I moved with my dad for about a year.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I moved with my dad for about a month,
Mhm.
and then on my own, I made a decision that I wanted to go back to Oxford sober living. So I was in the sober living house for about a year. I started doing remodeling, and then I ended up getting my current job that I still have today, working for a company called Mission Compost. And right now, I'm the head of commercial operations at my company, and I've just learned that there's a way better way to live life, and I'm just very grateful for the opportunity that I've had to be on deferred adjudication. I've been preparing for this. I watch your YouTube sometimes, so I watch the YouTube to stay grateful because I see a lot of different people that get the deferred adjudication and they mess up on probation. So I've made sure like I study other people, to, what to do, what not to do, and I ended up at one point in probation. You allowed me to have unsupervised visits with my children, so I got my children back in my life. I'm with my children. Every weekend. It was just my daughter's birthday, and I'm just very grateful and very happy for the changes that I've made because of the opportunity that you, probation, and the prosecution and the court as a whole has given me as an opportunity. So I'm very grateful.
Well, I'm happy for you. I'm so glad that you completed this. Rashad, it's just been like a Merry Christmas for me. It's just been continuing. So keep up the good work. I always try to tell people, always remember your journey, because sometimes we forget and we think life is easy. Sometimes it's not. You just have to be prepared for it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm gonna sign the request for early termination, and you're off probation, and be sure to, don't be afraid to share your testimony with people, because you can always help somebody with their journey, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I have some dreams and aspirations of hopefully being a criminal defense attorney. So maybe I've been like looking into the like different things about the bar exam and learning about Terry stops and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So maybe I'll see you going forward.
Awesome. And you know what? It is doable. There was a graduate from felony drug court, because people will tell you, and I have to tell people, hey, if you have a felony case, or even if you've been on deferred, if you're trying to get your license, anything that requires a license, it's not impossible. It's just going to be more difficult.
Yeah.
But I know some people who've actually been through the felony drug court program, or who have felony convictions. They're now attorneys and they're doing great. Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck to you, okay?
Yes.
If you ever need anything, always come back. Sure.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.